Hey guys, Shensi here once again, and in this part 2 of the model of League of Legends, we will be examining the map control model of League of Legends. In the first part of this video series, we examined the goal efficiency school of thought, and in the third part, we will be examining the timing attacks school of thought. But in this video, we will be examining the map control school of thought that I personally think has dominated the last 5 years of League of Legends. So what exactly is the model of map control? The simple axiom that this model operates under is that if you bring more people to a fight, you then achieve dominance through numerical superiority, be it a 5v4 or 4v3. The idea of the model of map control is to create numerical superiorities to win fights against the opponents. And in situations where you're contesting neutral objectives, you want to be able to create a setup advantage so that even if your opponents take you on in a 5v5, you have the setup advantage to then win the fight accordingly. To better understand this, we have to be able to break down the map into various segments. Now, if you notice, there's a plus, an equals, and a minus. The plus will indicate that the wave is pushed into your opponent's side of the map, necessitating a response from them. An equal is in neutral position, and a minus means that the wave has been pushed into your side of the map and it necessitates a response from your own team. So the key idea is to create a numerical superiority by forcing your opponents to respond to waves by pushing the waves into the plus segments of the map. In order to do that, you will need to, instead of catching the wave, you will have to defend the wave that's spawning out of base in order to crash that into the opponent's tier 2 and force them to respawn or lose farm and fall behind in EXP. When that happens, you are then able to take control of the other side of the map, control that, and force numerical superiorities. To better understand this, I've drawn out a flowchart to help you understand possible deployments for teams that are following this model of map control. The first idea is to understand if we have side lane advantage or not. If we have the lanes pushed into the pluses as dictated above, this will indicate that we have a yes. So the opponents would then be showing on one side of the map, and we would be able to pixel rush, run as quickly as possible, approaching mid, and then controlling the opposite side river via the pixel push. If we do not have a map advantage, it is imperative that we are able to answer the minus on our side of the map by going through the side lane and relieving that minus accordingly. Now in situations where this is not evidently clear, where either one side is pushed in and one side needs to be collected, or both side lanes are in the neutral position, the question is who is faster off the reset towards mid lane. If once again we are the faster team, you then play for the pixel rush once again, and this is very commonly known as having tempo, but I tend to avoid the use of that word as a whole. Now, if you do not have the faster approach on mid lane, you can then try to win a fight via mid lane using a difference in spell economy and taking a fight there, but that's a topic for another time. If you do not have a winning fight mid, you then have to respect that your opponents are faster on the map, and you then have to approach three sides as well. Well, there's another scenario here where if you have the range advantage, you are able to defend the mid wave once again and then approach through mid as well. But simply put, it's all about understanding who is able to use their map advantage to then create a pixel rush, to create a numerical advantage, to then disconnect their opponents from their rotation paths and win fights accordingly. So teams that use this model, interestingly enough, where the LPL has been known to be rather dominant, the LCK has got two teams that have shown to be able to use this. KT Roster has their own take on it, whereas T1 was shown to be a very creative tacticians in using this two-lane model with very creative TP plays during the spring split. What they deviated away in the summer split, I think what they have shown in spring should allow us to give them credits in this category as we approach the World Championship. Now, the LPL has been known for playing lots of strong two-lane teams that are very effective at using the two-lane model. LNG and BLG are the two teams from the LPL that are particularly effective at using this model, and they are personally some of my contenders to win Worlds this year. The EU, on the other hand, I think they have been very effective at using this, with G2 being one of the big pioneers using the 0-3-2 split and then moving to 0-1-4 as time has evolved, Mad Lions adapting towards that, and BDS taking on a very interesting approach towards the two-lane model, with their top laner Adam very often not taking TP, forcing the team to get creative and aggressively take on two-lane plays. There's one team from NA that is using this model, and that's the Golden Guardians. And I think that this makes this a particularly interesting matchup as they match up against BDS later on today. From the Plains regions, we have PSG Talent as well as GAM Esports, who also use the two-lane model. Now, this model I think has been rather effective at winning has been rather effective at showing up results at international tournaments, while the finals of 2019 was a mirror of sorts where FPX proved to be the more effective team at using the two-lane style, winning over G2. EDG was also able to win the World Championship in 2021 using this style. And of course, the MSI was won by both G2 and RNG both in 2021 and 2022 using a two-lane map control approach towards things. As teams have been quoted playing against this style, when you're not prepared for it, you feel like they're everywhere. It feels like they're just fighting you all the time because you're constantly being caught with your pants down as they catch you up with their numerical advantages in your own jungle. And it's very noticeable as compared to watching the slower goal efficiency style that the LCK tends to prescribe. The combined kills per minute is often larger than 0.7 and sometimes close to 1, where we're seeing a kill almost every minute due to the high uptime and activity that these teams have in terms of invading the opponent jungle and trying to find favorable fights for themselves. Now, with the like of Belveth, Lee Sin, and Bard potentially being in the meta as the win rates are climbing high in solo queue, champions that can cheat rotations and have short cooldowns best facilitate this style, and I think that these are some of the key champions that might see uh, impetus for teams that utilize this style to do well at this Worlds. And with that, that is the map control model of League of Legends. Of course, this is something that I particularly enjoy watching. So as Worlds goes along, perhaps we will be expounding more on these ideas and seeing if there are any particular innovations as the World Championship progresses. With that, I think Golden Guardians versus BDS is going to be a hype matchup, so let's get hyped for Worlds.